Okay.
I'm reading a sign from the McGhee house that sits in front of the house where I reside. It says McGhee house. In 1944, the McGhees, a black family, moved here into what was then an all-white neighborhood. A neighboring family won a court order revoking the McGhees' purchase of the house on the basis of a restrictive covenant forbidding non-white residents. The McGhees, aided by the NAACP and represented by Thurgood Marshall, appealed the case to the U.S. Supreme Court. The court's 1948 decision in favor of the McGhees upheld a principle of freedom from discrimination in the enjoyment of property rights. So my husband and I are the fourth African-American black family to live in that house. There were two other families before us after the McGhees had purchased the house, and we've been living there for 35 years this past April.
How far is the house from here?
We're
We need to take a picture of that
doors
house.
down.
We need to take a video picture of that
in front of
house.
the house.
We've lived there for
In front of the house.
35 years, and
Video right now.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, but it's raining, so, but I guess.
and there's a marker on the front of the house. That's what I was reading from. That's on the internet. And
Okay, that's in front of the house. That's where you take a
that
picture
marker
of the
sits
house.
in front of the house,
Okay.
and it's two-sided, so no matter which way you're coming
You'll
down
see
the street that way or up this way, you can read it from either
Okay.
side.
I want you to take a picture of that house.
And that's a state marker, but we did about 3 or 4 years ago, we registered to be on the National Registry of Historic Places in the U.S. And we got nominated, and they did choose us.
Doing big
So,
things.
yeah, so now we're on the National Registry,
Okay.
and we're trying to get federal funding, now that we're on the National Registry, to do some upgrades to the home. Yeah, we need a new roof and gutters and stuff like
Y'all,
that. We need
hey,
some
y'all gonna
internal
get
work.
it too. Wow.
Yeah, I'm believing
You
God,
ain't
we
stopping.
gonna
Y'all
get
gonna
it.
get it.
We're gonna get it.
That's what's up.
So that's
Patience.
that's what we've been doing. We've raised 3 kids in that
Perseverance.
house, and we were gonna actually move after our youngest daughter was about 20, and she was gonna move out. And my husband and I said, we don't need this house. Big 4-bedroom house. We don't need all that space. We'll downsize. You know, we'll go get us a 2-bedroom condo or something somewhere here in Detroit. Never been interested in living in the suburbs. That's fine for those who want to do it, but I love my city of Detroit. So we talked to the owner of the house, which was the man that lived right here next to the lot. His name was Mr. Lewis, John Lewis. And we had rented from him for 20 years? And the family before that rented for like 15 years. And they only paid $150 for a big 4-bedroom house. We only paid $200 for a big 4-bedroom house. $200 a month. That's what we paid. What year was that? From 90 until 2011. And so we told Mr. Lewis, you know, the kids are gone, grown, everything. You know, we're gonna downsize. You know, we were thinking about moving, and he said, I tell you what, he said, I'll give you the house. So he and my husband went down to the Register of Deeds, and he signed a deed over to us. And they said we had to put something on there, so we had to put that he sold us the house for $1. So that's what's on the original deed. That we sold the house for. He sold the house to us for $1, and we've been living there and. You know, all this time, and so we're trying to fix it up. And you know, it's a lot of historic places in this neighborhood. My husband knew a little bit more history because he lived here in this area before I did. I used to live right back here, this empty lot next to this house right here. It's 4599 Allendale. I used to live there.
Right.
It's a vacant lot now.
45.99.
45.99. Yes.
That's the White House with the trailer.
Where the trailer is $45.99.
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was one right next to it. So that was the old house where I lived when I first came into this neighborhood. I think that was in 73. I want to say 73. My husband's been living on Pacific, right on the next street over, next block down. He's been living there since 1968.
Okay.
So yeah, so
been
we've always
there.
lived in this
Yeah.
neighborhood for a lot of years. And we're, you know, it's gone down over the years, but it is making a comeback.
Yeah,
You know,
it
we got a lot
is.
of people like you all fixing up the properties and stuff like that. So we're hoping to get federal funding to fix up our property.
And
as
don't
well, 'cause
hoping
we
you
here to
get it.
stay.
It's just when you get it.
Just
you
a
getting
matter
it.
of when.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
Not
you
if, but
getting
when.
it. Yeah, you getting it.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
So we were here when Biddle School was open, and you
That's
know,
that
across the street,
Vic's Market.
that's
Yeah.
Biddle Elementary School.
How long that been
Our
closed?
kids, oh God, how long that's been closed? Over 20 years? Keyshawn's 28 and he, my oldest grandson never got to go there, so it's been closed for a while. Yeah.
I don't know who, brother.
So we,
Whose is that?
that's mine.
Oh,
So
okay.
we're here to stay, and we're looking for this neighborhood. You know, we're having a
It's
comeback.
uplifting. You
And
see it. You see it every day.
Yeah.
Around the corner,
Yeah.
around the block, across the street.
People are
It's
building,
coming.
and,
Yeah.
and some of these houses
It's
that
coming.
were
Because
dilapidated.
guess
and
what?
they're
We like nice
rebuilding.
things too.
Yes, we do. Yeah, they're rebuilding around here, so
Yes.
we are excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
You have something to say?
Yeah, see, in 1944, before the McGhees moved into the house, the covenant was restricted for non-whites. That means no white people could cross time in here to this side.
No blacks.
No blacks. No blacks could come over
No,
here.
that's crazy.
Now, Mr. McGhee worked downtown at the Free Press. He was a elevator operator. And his co-worker thought that he was white because he was real fair complected. So he talked to him and told him about the house, and so he decided that, yeah, he'd come look at the property, which he only stayed 3 blocks over. So he came and looked at it. They purchased the home. And when they came to move into the house, when the neighbors and everybody seen him, he was fair complected, but all the kids were
They was like,
Afro-American.
hell no.
And that's when it started. It's a lot next door to the house where the Snipes stayed. Now the Snipes, they put him up to put this thing in action to get them out of the neighborhood. So it was called Snipes versus McGhee.
Do kind of look like
Yeah, he looks white.
He did
white
pass for a
sure.
minute.
So during all this time,
Wow.
while he was trying to keep his family in the house and live, they was burning crosses in the front yard.
They
He had to-
endured that.
Yeah, he had to sit in his front in the living room with a
make sure.
shotgun. He sent his kids and his family to Canada with other relatives. So it took him from 44 to 48 to actually really to be free in the house, because he had to get Thurgood Marshall. His wife wrote a letter to him to get him to take the case. So Thurgood took the case. So
That's so sad.
when Thurgood got here and took the case, they tried to kill him. He had to go hide in ditches and everything like that once he left the house. So after that, it took the Supreme Court. He had to go all the way to the Supreme Court. And then they said that we could have equal property rights because we won that decision. And that's for everybody in Michigan, not just for this neighborhood, but everybody in Michigan. So everybody got the chance to move where they want to. So right after that happened, they did what they call flight. All of them moved out.
White people.
Yep, everybody moved
Because
out.
we came in.
That's right. They usually say there goes the neighborhood.
Yeah.
They all moved in, and they just left the neighborhood. And basically, with them making this historical stance, right, is the best thing that happened for black people in Detroit, in the U.S., all over. So you had other historical things around there too. The Bluebird Hens right here on the corner. That's historical. That's Miles Davis. Any jazz artist you could think of
Right
played
there.
there.
Pictures and stuff.
Right now, they have just won a grant with the Conservative Sound Conservancy for $1.9 million, and they're fixing it up. They done took the whole thing from Bluebird past Vic's. They got all that.
Okay.
So they're working on that now to turn it into a community center
awesome.
and everything like that. But as far as this neighborhood, when I first grew up, it was pitiful. There was a gas station here. It was cleaners. You had grocery stores, hardware stores. The neighborhood was real beautiful. But just over the years, a decade, this is what we came to now. So we basically just want to try to propel and let these young people know that there is things that happen in the city and people had to struggle to be there. Because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be standing here right now. So that's all I have to say.
And you said plenty.
And other historic places. St. Stephen's.
And then here on 30th in Milford, you have the Nakarima Club. Now the Nakarima Club in 1929 was built because black people couldn't go to the Detroit Athletic Club. So all the prominent black people who had business and everything took this club on and they built their club. And by them building the club, we had somewhere to go. You know, we didn't have to worry about going downtown with the discrimination, which we wasn't getting in. Now, Nakarima, that's the name. What it is, American spelled backwards. But they don't have a mark in front of their place right now, cause they're trying to get on the registry.
They are registered.
They
They just need to mark.
They just need
That's
to
all
mark.
right. Just to hear that. I ain't
Yeah,
looking.
so,
History.
yeah.
Yeah.
What the whole neighborhood
A
is.
lot of history in this.
This is called the Joseph A. Timon area. If you come off 96 right here, you'll see a sign say, "Welcome to Joseph Timon," right? He was the first one that built the bus terminal and had the buses running right up here on Edward in Timon. So in this area, is plenty of history, you know, but it's not recognized because nobody knows, nobody talks about it, and all our elders are gone now, you know. So I try to keep up with the history of the neighborhood, everything that's going on, and spread it to the word. U of M comes down here every year with their students on a big bus just to take pictures and stuff in front of the house. Wayne State does the same thing. You know, so
There are people coming from all over the world.
from all over the world come here, you know, just to see that
Time for
house.
that grant.
Yeah.
Pay up.
So that's what we're working on now. We're working on that grant and see what we can do. I've been holding on to it for 30 years and put whatever I got into it. Now I'm retired, fixed income, money ain't poor. So just thank you for all just being interested in the home.
Thank you for your sharing your
Right.
knowledge,
Very
telling us, because
informative.
I done learned something.
That was
I
history.
need you to take that picture. You can get this jacket of the house, okay?
And I like what y'all do.
And that sign in front of it.
I like what y'all do.
Every little step counts.
All the space.
We're about to try to, I guess, gonna take some pictures down there. I don't know.